You've signed up for automatic payment before. You got to fill out one of these. It's an ACH authorization agreement, automatic payment, all right? Automatic clearinghouse, I think it technically stands for. There was one between Hunter Biden's precious business, Owasco, and his father. From Owasco PC, Hunter Biden's holding company, to Joseph R. Biden Jr., his father, started in 2018 in the throes of Hunter's addiction. Yeah, he was addicted back then. Everybody seems to agree. You heard about this, right? $1,380 every single month going to Joe Biden. Now, I know it's not $1 million or $5 million or $10 million, but it stinks. And so does the explanation. Oh, he bought a car and he needed a little help from his dad, the former vice president, to buy that car. And look at this picture. Hey, everybody, you see, we're buying a car. Make no mistake about it, we're definitely buying a car. The whole thing stinks. There's something going on. The left says that this explains it all. It was just about a pickup truck. Eric Eggers, the vice president of the Government Accountability Institute, he has been on this case since the very beginning. The Biden family alleged corruption, not so much alleged anymore. Welcome back, Eric. How are you?
It's great to be with you, Greg.
Can you give me your take on this thing? I am not buying I think it's like the plausible deniability thing, that truck. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's bad if the Bidens are voluntarily admitting that they bought a fossil fuel-powered vehicle, right? So, I mean, you've got $3 billion going to a green energy fund right now, and the Bidens are like, no, we just love us some pickup trucks. I don't think that that's what it was for, but I do think, though, it's important to zoom out. Like, while it's just $3,900, I think there's evidence that 3 payments were made of $1,300 a month. I think what it speaks to is the direct relationship between Joe Biden's personal finances and Hunter Biden's international business deals. International business deals, by the way, that have been flagged, we now know, because of other emails that have been uncovered by the House Oversight Committee, by numerous financial regulators. These are people that are saying, look, this looks like irregular financial activity. These are bank accounts from China to Hunter Biden. We know China's attempting to infiltrate the families of American politicians for money laundering purposes. Hunter Biden doesn't appear to have any actual services to render. So when money goes to Joe Biden from Hunter Biden, it's not just about a truck. It's not just about $3,900. It's about bribery, plain and simple, from foreign governments to the family of the president of the United States.
Well, everybody in the mainstream is scoffing at this, Democrats scoffing, and quite frankly, Republicans and conservative media have been very weak on this, and they're weak on a lot of stuff. Unless the New York Times says it's news, they don't think it's news. But take a look at some media reaction.
Another situation that defies voters' understanding, right? Impeachment looks ready to move ahead. Mike Johnson has said that.
We have Congress directly going after Hunter Biden, suggesting that they are going to use Hunter Biden's business relationship with his family as a cause for potentially impeaching the president of the United States.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says they are inching closer and closer to having the votes to open an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, apparently for having lunch with his own son, since they still have no evidence he did much else.
You remember, though, for months and years, actually, never did business with his son, never talked about business with his son. Now, all those same people who accepted that are saying, yeah, he did business, but it's not a big deal.
It's such an important point. This is another example of Democrats moving the goalpost, because as you noted, it used to be, we've never talked about it. I had no knowledge of any of Hunter's business dealings. Now it's, oh, well, he's never personally profited. And now what the Democrats and the media are trying to do is say, oh, well, it's not going to be enough to impeach, and it certainly won't be enough to remove him from the presidential office. But here's what the American people know that the left doesn't get. This matters. Remember that New York Times poll that everyone was freaking out about that showed Donald Trump beating Joe Biden in 4 of the 5 key swing states? The number one indicator that predicted whether or not Donald Trump would win a state was whether or not people believed that Joe Biden personally profited off of Hunter Biden. It was right there in the New York Times crosstabs. So, and the only state that Donald Trump wasn't winning was the state in which there was not a double-digit margin, in which more Americans believe, I think correctly, that Joe Biden did profit off of Hunter Biden. So the Democrats and the media know that this matters to the American people. Whether they actually impeach or not, I think we'll find that it makes a very big difference in less than a year from now, when the American people finally get to vote with the full knowledge of just how corrupt Hunter Biden was.
This is not 10% for the big guy. $1,300 is not all that much, but you know what? but he has a lot of other companies that he could be doing the same thing. But let me run this by you. Could this be a little Easter egg? Like, they knew there was going to be scrutiny. They knew ultimately, okay, we'll show this. Okay, we did do business, but it was, on the up and up. It was to help Hunter in his addiction. Meanwhile, the money is getting to Joe, a theory, okay, by some other means. Literally could be cash in a bag. Who knows? But this shows, okay, there is a car. Everything checks out. Right? Like when you launder money, every now and then you have to do something seemingly legitimate. Are they possibly that clever, or am I not making sense?
Well, I'll take your advice on what the appropriate way to launder money is, Greg. But I guess what I would say is that I don't think that, maybe it's true that Hunter Biden really is the smartest guy that Joe knows, because here he is coked to high heaven out of his mind in 2018. And yet he's still able to construct this labyrinthine system of shell companies and wire transfers that involve Chinese energy companies and these holding companies that appear on paper to be legitimate, but bank inspectors say, no, this looks like a money laundering vehicle. But I would just say it's not just this $1,300 for a truck. Remember, we've got money that we know Hunter Biden was paying Joe Biden's cell phone. We have other homes that we have evidence that were being paid for. We have now 6 figures worth of transfers from not only Hunter Biden, but James Biden to Joe Biden, right? It's $240,000 at least. So it's not just this. So they can try to say, oh, it's just the $1,300 that's for a truck. No, it's actually a lot more. And that doesn't even count the tens of millions of dollars that have gone to Biden family members from people connected to the Chinese dang espionage ring. So I think they have a lot more to answer for than just this. If this is an Easter egg, it's not fooling anybody into believing that the Easter Bunny's real.
I want to see that truck one more time. Happy occasion at the car lot. I've taken a picture like this, but a couple of things. In June 2018, according to Hunter's own lawyer, the summer of 2018 was one of debauchery and wild spending and drug use. All right? Heavy drug use. Hunter's sobriety date does not happen until his alleged sobriety date, because we have concerns about that, is in June of 2019. So is Joe Biden buying his crack-addicted son a car? That doesn't seem like a very good idea. The whole thing is weird, totally weird. But then again, we're talking about the Bidens. For the record, I do hope that Hunter is clean and sober, but that, quite frankly, doesn't excuse anything. Eric Eggers, we appreciate it very much. GAI.org, Government Accountability Institute. Check it out. And also the Drilldown podcast. Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure, Greg.
Be right back.